let's talk about active FTP. And what I'm going to do is I will add our client and I will connect this to our switch. Now our switch connects to server. There. Okay. Now I will also add or assign an IP address. So let's say this is 10.0.0.101 and our server, let's say this is 10.0.0.200. So they will have the same, or they have the same network. Let me repeat the connection between switch and the server. So there, this is our topology. Now, since this is FTP, file transfer protocol, the client will initiate a connection. So client connects to FTP server by establishing an FTP control connection port to port 21. Now, what do you mean? All right, so this is a simple application where the server will listen to a port. We're going to use port 21. And on the client side, so this is ephemeral or random port starting from 1024 to 65535. So let's just say it's using port 2001. There. So what will happen here is client, again, it will initiate FTP connection, okay, to port 21. And the port 21 here, again, this is what we call the control connection, or sometimes we call it command channel. There. Now, assuming everything is good, the server will respond back with acknowledgement. Okay. So again, this is the control connection or the command channel. What do you mean by that? This is when the client connects to an FTP server and send commands such as ls, get, etc. But when the client requests data over the controlled connection, it will be a different pair of ports. What do you mean? So this is what's gonna happen. Client requests data over the controlled connection. When that happens, the server will initiate data transfer connections back to the client. And as you can see here, it will send data transfer connection. And it will be using the same IP address, obviously. So this is still the same. What's different is from port 21, it will now use a different port. It will be using port 20. Again, this port 20 is for data, okay, data transfer. And the client, it will use also the same IP address. The difference is, like what we did in our server, it will now use a different port. Let's say it's listening to port 2002. All right. So on the side of the client, this new port is for data transfer. This is the only time the client can send or request data. This is using a different port. And obviously the client will send an acknowledgement. Now, let me highlight this. This is the only part when client can send and receive data transfer.